Smile on my face. Scott McTominay. Look, I never doubted Scott McTominay once. I've never said a bad word against him once. Scott McTominay just being Scott McTominay, a midfielder who really kind of leaves space in midfield, but a striker who scores goals. Man United 2-1 against Chelsea. That wasn't just a win, by the way. That was a performance. Ten Hag's lost 50% at the dressing room. The players aren't playing for the manager. Ten Hag showed fight during the week when he banned those journalists after those stories came out. And the team there tonight, genuinely, that was a very good performance. That finishing was pretty abysmal. But Manchester United totally deserved the victory. Scott McTominay with 2 goals. I just want to sit and just like the... And I suppose this is why we as fans are not allowed to choose starting 11s, right? Because McTominay, just from a midfield control perspective, it's just not there. But Ten Hag has relied on his goal threat. It's got him out of jail against Brentford. It's got a goal away at Sheffield United. I don't know how many goals he's got this year. Is it 6 goals he's got this year? He had like 5-6 shots on target. Anthony looking at McTominay there is kind of how I felt looking at it. But Man United there, look at the stats from this game, ladies and gents. 28 shots we had, 9 on target. We should have had the Bruno penalty. We should have had McTominay scoring at least 2 in the first half. It feels good. It feels good after the week that we've had, after the Newcastle performance, after the stories that leaked and the sort of the pressures that seemed to be exerting on the manager. He kicked back and he fought, and we were asking whether we were going to see a response tonight. We got a response. Got a pretty damn good response. All right, 2-1 winners there, but that could have and should have been far easier. That's going to be the frustration. We're speaking after that game, maybe the way we can improve. You're speaking after that game. Bruno missing a penalty. Doesn't usually miss penalties. And you're worried about that. But Scott McTominay come up with it. Hey, look, man, I suppose Scott McTominay staying in that midfield then. What else can I say? The control still wasn't there. I'll tell you what, the control... I'm not sure if you felt the same. The game felt a little bit less chaotic. A little bit less. Chelsea still had 13 shots. Chelsea could have and should have scored a goal in that first half. But there's only one person who's scoring goals in that first half. Honestly, it's hilarious. I was there at the starting 11. I was speaking so passionately about how McTominay should be dropped to the bench and we need Amrabat coming in with Manu in midfield to give us that control so we can be less chaotic. And Ten Hag said, you know what, screw you. Flip the bird at me. Scott McTominay comes up with 2 goals. I mean, you can't question that, can you? I've got it written down there. Elite striker. Might have to play him up front. Højlund with another sort of drawing another blank. I was going to mention Højlund later on, but I may as well mention it now. Right. I'll be honest, I'm not even slightly worried about Højlund yet. I think he's making the right runs, getting in the right positions. I mean, can you tell me that little nice snapshot he had in the first half? But other than that, it wasn't really, the chances weren't falling to him. And we were a better team because he was in there compared to what we've been with Marcus Rashford. Look at that in the first half. United's XG in that first half, the most that any side has got in the Premier League this season. Overall, at the end of the game, we had 28 shots. We needed to see a response today, okay? And for a lot of people, a result would have been enough there tonight. I'm not saying for every United fan, but for a lot of United fans, it would have been. But that was a result, a performance, and a win which showed that the players are certainly still playing for Erik Ten Hag. I enjoyed it overall. Last 10 minutes of the game, when Broha came up for that, how did the ref let that corner even happen? I don't really know. Somebody who I think, oh man, I've got to speak about this lad. Who am I kidding? I was going to speak about someone else, but Garnacho. Mate, this kid's development this season, right? Last season, he broke through. He was a star. He was a star who affected and impacted games from the bench. And it was a question mark about what Garnacho can do from the starting 11 position. Goes and does that against Everton. And away at Galatasaray too. And I know that McTominay got man of the match. Deservedly so and rightfully so. But Garnacho, for the entire 90 minutes, well, 80, what was it? 80, sod knows how many long. For however long he was on the pitch for, a complete menace. Wonderful cross, by the way, from Garnacho to McTominay for the second goal. But just all night long, good decision-making, tracking back when he needed to. Marcus Rashford was dropped, and I thought Anthony played okay. I thought Antony offered threat. Antony won the penalty, obviously, at the very start. But it's that same old problem with Antony, right? He doesn't have a right foot. I mean, I think we can safely say at this point, Antony is not going to all of a sudden start using his right foot regularly. There were opportunities tonight. Had he taken it on that right foot and gone into space, he would have made a chance. But I tell you what, Garnacho's output on that left-hand side, the whole time, electric. His development this season, fantastic. Keep it up, Alejandro. And I'll tell you one player, right? If you asked me how he got on at halftime, I would have said that he was really, really struggling. Not just that pass, that wayward pass to Maguire, but he still felt like he was getting drawn and dragged out of position. I felt like Amrabat kind of grew into the game a bit. I still want to see what happens when Amrabat plays with Mainu. And it's good that Mainu, we've beaten Chelsea then, we didn't have to use Cobby. Remember that he's an 18-year-old kid playing his first Premier League season just off the back of a 3-month big injury. He does need to have his game time managed. And I think Amrabat improved as the game got on. The problem I've had with Amrabat so far is that, again, he's kind of been part of the headless chicken crew. Running out of position, chasing the man marking. It felt, I don't know if you feel the same, it felt like the man marking was a little bit less chaotic. We did try and stay a little bit more compact to a certain degree, but Chelsea got in behind us so many times. That's probably completely and utterly wrong. But it felt like Amrabat grew into the game and got slightly better. But I still probably want to see more from Amrabat. And look, Premier League Player of the Month. I doubted whether he could do it away at Galatasaray. He was pretty much a colossus there. We conceded 3 goals, but Harry Maguire was fantastic. Newcastle was one of the only players that came away with any sort of credit for his defending. And tonight against Chelsea, I was looking at that 11 going, Mudryk, Jackson, Sterling, with Enzo, Palmer, and Caicedo behind. I was like, mate, Maguire's going to get exposed. He didn't. Maguire played really, really well. Again, Maguire, hands in the air. And this is the thing, right? People, your opinions are allowed to change about players. You know, one thing I thought about whilst watching that game is I'm really annoyed at those players who turned the captaincy down when Solskjaer offered it to them. Because if Maguire never got the captaincy, I know I'm rewriting history here, but it feels like taking that armband away from him has really helped Maguire. I think I can say that now. I think that the evidence is really starting to not mount up, but fair play, Harry Maguire. Keep doing what you are doing, man. Honestly. But I'm so happy that there was a response for Erik ten Hag, because I genuinely feel that if he gets into a position where he is just the head coach of Manchester United, right, and he can be the tracksuit coach, whistle in hand, wearing a flat cap, sod knows, don't really care what you're wearing. If you can just have that version of Ten Hag, and you get a CEO, you get a sporting director who control the bullshit that happens behind the scenes, the admin, the intricacies of transfer windows, they take that control away from him, because that's not his job. That's not what he's good at. He is a good coach. Still, tonight, I think that I look at Man United's midfield shape and I question it. But how can I question the inclusion of Scott McTominay when he bags 2 goals? I can't really. I really can't. But I can, because... But I can't. I don't know what to say about Scott McTominay anymore. Honestly, I think he is a top-level, supporting striker. He's just not a very good central midfielder. And if we could just have Scott McTominay operating on the edge of the box, it's almost like him playing in Bruno's position, but you're not taking Bruno out of that team. Bruno, again, tonight, sort of setting the tempo in certain ways, and then in other ways, it's in and out from Bruno tonight. But he was at the centre of the team going forward. I'm just delighted. By the way, I think Dalot played pretty well overall at right back. I understood why Erik ten Hag dropped Wan-Bissaka, but he dropped Wan-Bissaka, he dropped Martial, he dropped Rashford. Players came in and the performance came in. I think Ten Hag will be very delighted with that. As I said, 28 shots. And Man United now, we're going to 6th place. I don't know. I think it's on 27 points we are for the season. Bournemouth next. Then Bayern Munich. And then Liverpool away. McTominay, I swear on my life, if you go to Anfield and you bag a couple of goals, I'm not going to say I'm going to get a tattoo. I might get a shirt with your name on the back. That's enough. But McTominay, with 2 goals there tonight, I've got a smile on my face because I really, really wanted a response for Erik ten Hag after what he did this week. And we got it.